Welcome to season 13 of the Social Work Rants podcast, providing an inside look of the social work and mental health profession. Season 13 will continue to dive into the struggles of social work entrepreneurship, social work being political, discussing the intersectionality of mental health and finances as it relates to social work and society as a whole. Let's get it. Hello, social workers, mental health professionals, and change agents. Welcome to another episode of the Social Work Rants podcast. I'm your host, Bash Moreno. Saludos a todos. Greetings, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, tapping in wherever you are watching or listening to the podcast. I appreciate all the love and support. Gracias a todos por su apoyo. Continue to follow the podcast on Instagram at the Social Work Rants podcast. That is all one word. And of course, the YouTube channel, the Social Work Rants podcast. Hit that red subscribe button. Uh, like videos, comment. I do respond to any comments that are left. And let's keep rocking and rolling to these 300 episodes. Uh, this is episode, I believe, like 275, 276, or around there. So I'll be losing count. But yeah, so shout out to all of y'all that have been supporting and rocking the podcast, these last 6 years. If you've been from the beginning, appreciate you. If you newly listen, I appreciate you too. So um I want to talk about the recent uh death of actress Hayden Panettiere. Um best known as from the young girl, Remember the Titans, from Heroes, recently from Nashville. Um, I'm not trying to go into you know uh, no cause of death or anything like that. My main purpose of not really talking about her, but I know she was brave enough to share her addiction story, also her postpartum depression story. And I saw this post somebody made on Threads. I'm loving Threads. I think is like my new favorite social media app. Is I find things like hilarious on it, and it's like people just talk randomly. It's like hilarious to me. But I saw this post, related to Hayden's passing. It says, "Take postpartum mental health seriously, like is suicide prevention, or has serious has suicide prevention." And I was like, wow, that is, I could relate to that. Um, you know, having a partner, my ex-wife, having the medical system, fail her after um giving birth to our son, and being in pain, having a C-section, and being given pain pills, started small with Tylenol 3. If you know me or you know my story, like know, I've mentioned this a few times on Latinx and Social Work podcast. I mentioned part of this in the Latinx and Social Work Volume 2 book. Um, and then that Tylenol 3 went to like codeine, and then it went to mixing alcohol with oxycodone. So it just kind of progressed. But childbirth, whether it be C-section or quote unquote natural, is there's and then my ex-wife Erica had postpartum, and which nobody talked to me about postpartum or what to look for. I was at the very beginning of grad school, like in the middle of grad school when I had my son, and I don't remember sitting in a class or in the sections of human behavior class I took talking about postpartum. At least at that time, I don't remember. This was like 2009, 2010. Um, so I could, and like I said, nobody talked to her about no postpartum either, really. I don't try to remember if she brought it up to um her OBGYN or not. But she just kept getting prescribed. All right, still in pain, and the medicine kept getting worse. And going to see her primary care, and her primary care prescribing these difficult, tough medications to deal with pain, and my wife would pop them like it's candy. So, and then dealing with postpartum, and I missed all the signs. I barely was home due to was working full time, going to school. I was doing an internship on a Saturday, so the only day for like a year and a half that I was ever home, like all day was a Sunday, and even part of Sundays I was doing schoolwork for writing a paper or something like that. So I was so busy with schoolwork, and I know I've joked in the past, and I've had a Fordham professor on the podcast, and I told her straight up on the podcast, like your class almost got me divorced. Like the research 1 and 2 was not a good time. That class stressed me the hell out. Um, so I totally missed, the postpartum signs. My wife would tell ex-wife would tell me like like feeling depressed, but not to the point of like hurting herself or hurting our son. But like she would like tell me, I would like totally like you know didn't see it. Just me focus on like her pain, and then like worried about like possibly her like ODing on mixing the pills and with the alcohol. That was kind of like my like main concern. So for having and it shouldn't take a celebrity's death to really have this conversation in our society. I know there's certain hospitals, and not many, and there needs to be way more that do offer support services like social workers in the maternity ward unit to provide resources to the moms and for the new parents. Um, but there's not enough. That needs to be kind of like a nationwide type of thing. It really does, because it's a lot. Like it's a lot on a woman's body. There's also like I'm only going to speak from like the man perspective. I know there's same sex couples who are new parents too. So like um, but for me, like kind of new for me too. Like it's having a newborn child, and you like making sure the feeding, the change of diapers, like babies get bored too. So you gotta play with the baby, read, just kind of like you know being silly, making the baby laugh and things of that nature. Just keeping the baby safe, like you know, and reaching out to the doctor for like any issues. So it's a lot on both parents, but as moms, like body wise and also mental health, like kind of like transitioning whether they want to like get back to how they looked before they had the child, or just kind of dealing with pain from C-section, and kind of like you're one person, now you're dealing with like the couple, and that dynamic changes because the new baby comes in, or might have twins, like or or triplets, so those dynamics kind of change. But we really need to do a better job in America dealing with postpartum depression. you know uh it really we do everything in America, do things like instead of to prevent, we wait for shit to happen and then like, oh, we need to do this, let's so it won't happen again. Um, that's pretty much like the history of the United States of America, pretty much. Um, oh my God, it happened again, and like, well, why you didn't prevent it the second time or prevent it the first time before it happened? So, um, but yes, it's we need to have more social workers, more psychologists, like on mental health professionals, on hospital staffs in the not only just ERs, but in the recovery rooms and prior to discharge. Make sure you see uh, a social worker and talk about any sort of feelings of postpartum. Provide resources of new mom groups, new dad groups. Even I went to like a parenting training um before I had my son, and there was no like, all right, fellas, like these are possible signs of post. We're going to talk about postpartum depression. Or these are the possible signs, or like and, that talk did not exist, and I wish there was like a parenting class, or at least part of that parenting class I did that would talk about postpartum. So, um, because like I said, I totally like missed those signs, and then um, things started to get worse before things got better, and things didn't really only got better a little bit after like you know, being when my ex-wife Erica was pregnant with our second child, and things got a little better, and then it kind of went back to the same issues. So, um, it is really hard, and I know like um, you know it's like we always talk about mental health, especially myself being social worker. But when I talk about that, I talk about society. It's like, oh yes, you talk about mental health and this and that. But when it comes to women and you know postpartum is like kind of goes over people's head unless something like a famous actress that may Hayden Panettiere, rest in peace. I hope she does find peace. No longer having to deal with her mental health troubles, her addiction troubles, and I know she dealt with her own grief of losing. I think her brother had passed away, and then being brave enough to like realize that I can't take care of my daughter and get like her former partner like custody of their child together. That's something major and traumatic that she had to deal with. So um and things like that doesn't get talked about either. So um yeah, we really need to do better as a country, and unfortunately with this man in office, he does everything to not protect women at all, and I hope um, that's why you got to get out the vote. A and come November, um, maybe the Senate, House of Representatives, flip, and then they could like I guess super impeach him because he already got impeached twice. So and hopefully things could start get better, and really needs these supports for for new moms, and I know there's a generation of folks that are choosing, and in my opinion rightfully so, and not wanting to be parents. Number one, in this economy, who can afford a brand new child? But if you do decide to become a parent, I was, just to make sure that you're getting the supports that you need from hospital staff and making sure you advocate for yourself to get the proper care that you need because you deserve it. Your life definitely matters. Um, on that note, I wanted to get that off my chest uh, to because it's really sad that we can't protect women who are dealing with postpartum. You know, you know, I'm, I know I work at a hospital, so I talking to brand new moms or they have just had another child and having those conversations or are you dealing with postpartum if you are so or do you want to like go to a support group for new moms things of that nature and making sure those resources are available for those folks. So and those resources need to be funded one way or another and continue to be funded. So, all right, folks. Talk soon. And stay safe. Peace.